Hi, and welcome to the Fox Den. My name is Kat, and I'm with my co-host,
Cody.
and we have a special guest.
A special guest. It's alright. Hi, special guest. Introduce yourself.
Hello. My name is Aaron, aka Shrimp Boat Man. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm glad to be here, of course, inside the Fox Den. It's always been a pleasure to be here and meet everybody and hang out and have a fun time.
Alrighty, and today's episode is going to be like an advice or story time that we're just going to go around and give a little bit more about us and, have a great time with our guests here. Because we know him for a while, and I think it'll be more chill, relaxed episode for all of us.
Oh yeah, and we wanted to get special guests in here for a while, but starting off the podcast and everything like that, we just decided to be like, hey, we got a couple good, amazing, and talented friends. Like our good boy over here, good old Aaron. He's so Aaron, if you want to share with the podcast, and our crowd of people, what exactly is your interest in everything?
So, of course, my good friends here, we've been together for a good while. Of course, it's always been kind of an interest of mine to really get into voice acting. Actually, that's kind of my main thing that I'm looking to get into right now. I'm still in the process of learning, of course, getting better at my craft, and really try to express my talent through different types of voiceover work that I've done, as well as voiceover work that I plan on doing in the future. I'm still, of course, learning how to get into the emotion of the character that I'm portraying, of course. Really have fun with it. That's the main thing. And I know that there's a lot that goes into voiceover work, as well as there's a lot of emotion that goes into it. There's a lot of mental fortitude you really have to kind of keep in mind, keep into play, and just being in the right mindset in general. That's the main thing that I'm really trying to focus on, and really try to get into the groove of course. Glad to be here with these two amazing people, of course. So,
I'm glad that you mentioned about like the mental stages of going into voice acting, because that's actually something that we wanted to talk about for our week of advice. Is kind of like going through the mental issues that's going on right about now that everybody's going through, being with like the Olympics, people getting into acting, what's going on in the world right now, and everything like that. It's just like a lot of people are going through a lot of
Climate changes.
Well, climate changes, and it's just like going through a lot of mental mental abuse or being anything like that. And it's just like everybody experienced type of like a mental breakdown or a mental some people would even go as far as like an actual mental shutdown from everything. And it's just we're just here today to let everybody know that, like, hey, if you out there are suffering from any type of mental kind of like mental issues or anything like that, any pain or anything like that, that you're not alone. It's just like us here at the Fox Den, and like how Aaron briefly put it, is that like this craft and everything like that, it goes and puts a lot of strain on your mental processing and everything like that, and it will affect you, but just to let you know, there's our people out there that definitely will help you out. It's just like for us, some of us here has gone through a lot of like mental issues, seeked out help, and some of our friends are even here to be able to seek out the help, offer to help us out, But we just, but it's a learning experience also, that a lot of people don't realize, is that hey, the mental stages and everything that you're going through is everything that is a learning experience. You either have to learn to cope with it or try to learn to kind of fight through it. I went through it a lot, definitely, because not to put names out there, but I lost a lot of things in my life that caused me to go through the mental shutdown and process, that it drove me to be a different person as I was, which drove, with everything I went through, with my mental loops that I went through, I learned to kind of drive my career to be able to wanted to be a therapist. Just like, that's why I always try to give people as much advice as I can to be able to make sure that they go through life a lot better and learn and know that I'm there for them and everything else. But I feel like I'm rambling on a little bit too much, so would y'all have anything to say about this?
To be honest with you, as a person that always been part of like the outcast and having just myself most of the time, I feel like as a person, I see myself as someone that always wants someone to do better. And there's nothing wrong with doing better, but some people don't want that help, and I just let it pass. And some people will push people away, and there's nothing I can do about it at the end of the day. You're just there to be there for them whenever they need help. And that's the only thing I do. I can only do best for them is just wish them the best and move on with my life. There's been times where, like, I'm in the middle of everything for no reason, or I shouldn't have to. And it sometimes put a mental strain on things. So, like, I just know that sometimes, even when offering help, it can be kind of hard to, like, help somebody unless they are willing to go through the process. Because even with me, it takes time to accept help. It takes time to be patient with yourself to grow and to go through a whole new changes. Because with mental health programs, it takes time to go through it. It does. Because even with working with a therapist, they walk you through it. Just like anything else as to trying to fix a broken ankle. You can't walk the same way, but over time it will get better. You just have to trust yourself to go through it. And the most important is to have support systems to help you through it. Because that is also a number one thing to help you make those changes to your life. So, anything from you guys that you want to talk about or add?
There was something that I definitely did want to bring up. By the way, that was a lot to mentally unpack. Actually, that was very beautiful for you to open up and definitely bring up and talk about, because I know it can be kind of hard to really express your emotions and really try to put out there the feelings that you have, especially within the moments. I know I've had my fair share of ups and downs in my life, but I try to put more of a positive spin on it, of course. For example, there's a specific story I wanted to share that really highlighted one of my lower parts of my life that I actually managed to kind of bounce back, find some inspiration behind. And it does somewhat have a darker beginning. So this is my middle school age, I would say. Just now making it into 7th grade, moving into 8th grade. And my grandmother was actually my whole world. She was the sweetest, nicest, the best person in the world, essentially. She was just that really sweet, Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog, like kind of grandmother. She would be the sweetest person to you, no matter who you were, what you were like. And I looked up to her as kind of my role model, because I said, man, I want to be as sweet, as kind, as polite, look at everybody in the best light possible. That's super sweet person, who has nothing but positivity to give to others, even in the darkest of moments, even when that person isn't feeling right. You know, my grandmother was literally my inspiration for everything. So when I was little, my grandfather had passed away from me, and I only have the dark memory of him passing, of course, and that stayed in my mind as a child, not fully understanding what's going on, but I still knew something wasn't right. So my grandmother kind of took over the full-time grandparent role as being kind of the one and only grandparent that I would look up to. So the day that my grandmother had passed, I was also getting bullied in school. And being bullied is, of course, something that would always take a bit of a mental pounding, essentially, you know, especially if you don't know how to cope with it. And at the time, I really didn't have the support system, nor did I have family to really be there for me. And one day, I really said to myself, you know what, there's no point in, you know, going on. And I became suicidal. And I know it's a dark topic to talk about, but every time I think back to those moments, it's definitely a hard one to think back to. It was just a really low point in my life, you know. However, I remembered my friend was being bullied also, and they would constantly call him Forrest Gump, from the Forrest Gump movies, of course.
It's been a while.
And I said to myself, I'm already at a low point. You know, who cares if people laugh at me at this point? I'm already as low as I'm going to get. It can't get any worse than this. So I watched the movie Friday After Next, you know, with Mike Epps, and it really put a smile on my face. It was my first time seeing it. And I would watch almost every Christmas, actually. So there was a little dance that the character Day Day from Friday After Next would do. That brought a smile to everybody's face, you know. And I said to myself, you know, let me try that move one time inside school. And sure enough, I pulled one of my friends to the side, and I was like, hey man, check this out. And then, like, my friend thought it was funny, and he said, hey, why don't you tweak it a little bit? I was like, oh yeah, you're right. And they started calling my friend Shrimp Boat, you know, of course still referencing the Forrest Gump movie, you know, kind of insulting him. So I came to him, I said, hey buddy, listen, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to try to take that heat off of you, so that way every time they insult you, okay, I'm going to turn that negative, you know, that insult into a positive, so that every time they insult you, they're going to think about something funny, something that's going to make them laugh. They're not even going to really want to insult you because they're going to think about nothing but laughter. So, sure enough, in my head, I just kind of threw together something. I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just, maybe if I slap my thighs, you know, kind of like do a little pat, like a drummer boy would do. You know, like, psh, 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 psh. I was like, okay, I gotta think about some words. Let's see. Meet me at the shrimp boat. I was like, yeah, that works. Psh, 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 psh. 24 hours. Psh, 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 psh. Shrimpy, shrimp boat. Psh, 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 psh. What? Break it down. Then I do the little dance and try to make like a little jingle to go along with it. I said, oh my goodness. I just came up with something original. And sure enough, while I'm explaining this, I'm actually doing it. Like, in the middle of my classroom. Yes, so, of course, I'm paying no attention to the, quote, cool kids. I'm saying that with air quotes. Cool kids. And sure enough, they all see me dancing and everything, kind of in the middle of the classroom. The teacher wasn't in at the moment, but dancing and everything. And I'm expecting them to make fun of me. I'm expecting the roasting. I'm literally saying to myself, I know for sure, as soon as I'm done dancing, somebody is going to call me out and be like, yo, Mo, look at this dude over here. You know, just go off on me.
We go in Boston right now. You just in there. Hey yo,
Yeah,
over there,
yeah.
over there. You know. But
I'm walking here.
you walking.
But sure enough, as I'm expecting to get roasted, they actually said, "Whoa, what was that dance you just did?" I said, "Oh, it's the Shrimpo dance." And sure enough, everyone was like, "Hey, do that again. I like that. Whoa." And I do it again, of course. Everyone's laughing. Everyone's having fun with it. I'm thinking, oh, they're laughing at me. You know, they're going to roast me any minute. They're like, "Man, we like that." You know, I had the kids that I never spoke to come up to me, dap me up, say, "Yo, my man, what's your name?" I'm like, "It's Aaron." It's like, "Oh, man, I'm going to remember that for now." "Oh, man, you funny, man. You funny." And I'm like, whoa. I think I achieved the thing that I was really looking to set out for. You know, change that whole negative concept of calling my friend Shrimp Boat as an insult and turning it into a positive. You know? Now, every time they call him Shrimp Boat, they'd say, "Nah, don't call him that." You wanna know why? Because that's gonna be that man over there. That's Aaron's name right there. Speaking of which, no one really ever called me fully Aaron. They always called me Ern.
My man, Ern. But this is another. This is something that I wanted to bring up. Is that since my man Ern over here is a very creative genius over here, my man Aaron over here created something nice for the Fox Den here, and we want to share it with y'all. So we're gonna take a few minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and roll a nice little project that my man Shrimpo here did, and I hope y'all will enjoy it. And after we watch it, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about kind of wrapping up a little bit of the story, and then we're gonna talk about what he created here. So, what were you saying, Aaron?
Well, I hope everyone enjoys a truly fun-filled commercial that will definitely bring a smile to just about anybody's face.
Yes, it would.
Whoa, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? My name is Ern, and I'm here to tell you about the most amazing product out there, okay? It's called the avocado staple, okay? What is it? Oh, my goodness, I want to tell you about it. So anyways, I was walking down the street, okay? I had the most randomest idea ever, okay? I was watching this guy. I think his name was Raccoon. So I'm going to bleep that. But anyways, so I'm walking down the street watching this video, right? And I say to myself, you know what? That's the coolest idea I've ever heard of, okay? If you take an avocado, you take a stapler, you put them bad boys together. Ooh, you smell that? That's the power of the avocado staple, okay? As a matter of fact, it's so powerful and so amazing, I don't even got it with me, okay? But you know what? I'm going to tell you all about it, okay? So let me tell you something now, okay? Have you ever walked down the street, okay? Have your balls jiggling up in the air? You know what I'm saying? Like one of the bad boys that just bouncing up in the air while you're walking. I hate that shit, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, sometimes my thighs hit the side of them and I'll be like, hurts a little bit, but you know what? Hey, I'm trying to act cool and everything because, you know, got all the shawties around me, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, so I'm walking down the street, had that bad boy happen, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fix this for all the fellas out there that got that same kind of issue, okay? So matter of fact, I got the avocado staple. I'm like, hey, yo, if you tired of your balls jumping up there, you know what I'm saying? Stick them bad boys together, okay? The bad boys acting like their son just got into Harvard or something like that, you know what I'm saying? You gonna cut that out, okay? You gonna staple them bad boys together, you know what I'm saying? Keep them together as if they're a family, at a family function, you know what I'm saying? You be like, hey, yo, Big Bro, you gonna stick with me, okay? You stay away from Uncle Larry, okay? Hey, I know what he did in his past time, and I know what he did that put him in jail that time, you know what I'm saying? Hey, them little kids. But anyways, let me tell you something now. It's so amazing, so great, okay? It's so great that I almost stopped doing coke. I'm clean, guys. I'll tell you. Definitely, I'm clean. What would make you think I mean, anyways, let me tell you something now. I'm so amazed with the avocado staple, okay? Listen to some of these amazing reviews that I have accumulated, okay? Off of my buddy here, okay? Harold the Plant, okay? Say hi, Harold. Number 9. Anyways, this is such an amazing product. You get a chance to check it out. It's one of the coolest things out there. Only $13.99, okay? Now what's your big head? I'm telling you now, okay? One of the most best, amazing.
And Aaron, that commercial is definitely one of the funniest things that I've seen after a while. So with the creative side of everything that you made, from the shrimp boat man to the good old avocado stapler. Mind sharing your nice, amazing secret of how did you come up with the skit for the avocado?
Explain to us how the avocado stapler come into real life.
Well, the video itself actually kind of explains it. Actually, I remembered watching this amazing video. Of course, shout outs to Raccoon Eggs, by the way. That's supposed to be a big name drop, but definitely do check out his stuff. It's hilarious. But I had a lot of people compare me to Raccoon Eggs whenever I'd speak. Like anytime people wouldn't actually see me, they'd only hear my voice. They would say, "This guy sounds like Raccoon Eggs to me." And I would say, "Who's Raccoon Eggs?" And sure enough, I go and look him up, and I'm like, okay, I can see the comparison. So he came up with this crazy idea for the avocado stapler, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta let my friends in on this joke. This seems like a joke that everybody can enjoy. So sure enough, I'm like, something? I know what could really bring up people's spirits. The power of the avocado stapler. So I'm telling you, if you ever had any of your worst days, ever had something that really brought you down, well, guess what? The avocado stapler is here for you, okay? Just call 1-800-888-5555. And you know what? From there, it just turned into a fun running gag of letting people know about the amazing power of the avocado stapler.
That is not sponsored and not real.
Who says it's real in my mind?
Back to the mental state of things. Aaron, your story did touch a lot because personally, I've gone through similar scenarios in my life, also losing somebody dearly close to me. I lost a very many family members that drove me to the point where just like I'm kind of the only one left, and I'm just like, I don't know what I would do with if like I lost anybody else that's dear close to me, because I just like, it drove me to the point where I'm not thinking straight, not in the right mindset or anything like that, but I seeked help, and just so my boy Aaron over here, coach with his, is going out and trying to make other people happy, or making another person happy, to make them think of like, okay, I'm a person that loves helping people. There are people out there just like me, just like Aaron. Kat always helps people as much as she can. Everybody does. There's always that one person in your life that's gonna definitely be there for you. They may not speak up right away, and it might be hard for you to say, that you need help. Those are one of the hardest words that a lot of people cannot say, is that they need help.
That's definitely something I don't use every day, but it's sad that most people who are a victim of not only mental abuse, but also emotional or physical abuse, they don't usually ask for help because they are used to dealing with it every day. So I think the most important thing is, regardless of whatever situation you are in, do not be afraid to ask for help, because there is always somebody at the end of the rainbow that's willing to help.
Yeah, if it's your parents, a friend, some people have animals that help them out. I had tons of friends that I grew up with that had support animals. If you have a dog at home, you have a pet hamster, gerbil, lizard, Komodo dragon, whatever. If you can physically get your hands on a dragon, I would love to see it.
Or a rock.
Or a rock, yes. There's like coping mechanisms everywhere. But it really all depends on you. And so, for advice-wise, my best advice to do is find something that will make you happy. A talent, or as in like making music. Pick up an instrument, drawing, singing, doing a podcast, doing something, you know, it's just like, if you feel like you can get yourself out of a rut, or even trying to do something just to keep your mind off of it, is definitely something to do. Like me, when I was a kid, I was always alone. What I did was, I was into, I wrote little stories. Like, I wrote little tiny little creepypastas of like some of my favorite creepypastas growing up. You know, Jeff the Killer, Slenderman. You know, like, I made up some of my own stories.
You sound like our friend.
Yeah, it's just like, but that's how, like, some of the, but it made me not think about, like, okay, I made up these characters, I'm not alone because I have these characters. But, you know, like, you know, growing up watching anime, I was always kind of alone on it, but it was something that I did. I read manga. You know, I can relate to, you know, a character doing Down in the Rut too, you know, so it's like how growing up reading Naruto, I can relate to Naruto because he was alone. He was down in a rut. He dug himself out of the ground and found a big group of friends. And he's just like, "Hey, these are my friends." And eventually, that's what happened. Any advice that y'all want to give to our viewers about maybe trying to help out with their any type of mental, you know, disability? Not disabilities, but like mental issues. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's like you hit just the right point of view. I mean, to be honest with you, there are people who struggle with, you know, mental disabilities that cannot be helped. But if you take it slow at a time and don't just like force yourself to move like so fast, it won't get better if you go too fast. Just take it a step at a time to grow out of it, or to like work with it, because sometimes that'll be the only thing that you have to live with the rest of your life, is to work with it to make it better.
So you're saying it would be best to kind of take things slow. That's your advice. That way people can really kind of slow down, really take things in, maybe reevaluate things essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very helpful, very inspirational, of course. I would say my biggest advice would definitely be to try to inspire others. Really take a deep look at yourself, do some self-reflection, and really try to think about the things that will, of course, make you happy. Because most people think that since they're alone in their own head, you know, that there's no one that's there to help them, essentially. But what it is they either haven't met the right person yet, because timing is key in every person's life. You can say right now, I don't have anybody, but later on down the line, you meet that special someone, or you meet a special friend, you meet a family member, you meet even a total stranger off the street who will give you drop a nugget of wisdom on you, and you just will not be ready for it. They'll catch you completely by surprise. They'll really make you evaluate things. So there's nothing like being that person that tries to look at things in a positive light. You know, there's a lot of darkness out there. There's a lot of things that would really make people feel like this world is nothing but cruel. But if you do find the strength to really help others, inspire others, and even use your own story, even use whatever you've been through to help others, sometimes telling your own issues to other people, they can either say, hey, I can sympathize with them, or even empathize with them by saying, hey, I've been through something similar, or I have a friend that's going through this. So my main advice would be to definitely, like Kat said, take it slow. Really try to self-evaluate yourself. Think about what you have going for your life, because most people don't think about what they have until it's gone.
Another thing is, I'll just add, keep it short, is that, yeah, you're not good at some things, but you're good at one thing. Keep going with it. Don't let it stop growing, because somebody will look towards you and say, hey, you're really good at this, and they will like that of you. Don't let that negative side of you affect your being of being good at something, because everybody is different regardless of what you possess or what you are, because you may not be good at the thing that you want to be, but you are good at something that you are.
Yeah, it's to touch up what I'm continuing going on. What Kat was saying is that, like, you know, if you're an artist out there, your art to some people may not be good, but you actually taking the time and effort to be able to put something out there, it's a lot of things that a person can accomplish, that dreams to accomplish. You know, it's just like, you know, Ted over here was the one who drew our avatars that we use on the podcast. You know, it's just like she put the time and the effort to be able to do it, and it looks good in my opinion. You know, it's just like, but I'm personally, like I said, I'm always kind of jealous of it because I really wish that I could put out art. You know, it's just like, I'm not the greatest at art. I doodled in my time, but, like, you know, just, you know, putting it out there, you know. And of course, not to forget is that, you know, good old Aaron over here has, you know, done some talents himself. You know, he out there, he's put his voice out there, like, you know, some of the things that he did, you know, it's just like, if I remember right, you did like radio shows, you did some commercials, and you're currently doing something now that I don't know if something that you personally speak about, but it's something that you know, you're doing right now. It's getting yourself out there.
And I guess with like singing too, even though it's kind of like an on and off thing that maybe one day I'll just probably get back into whenever I actually sit down and do vocal training too, because it's something similar towards voice acting is vocal training, sadly.
So you want to say, Aaron, you look like you're itching over there a little bit.
No, I'm listening to everything and definitely taking everything in, essentially, because definitely everything that you've both said would help just about anybody, I would say. And like I said, just to also piggyback off of what you were saying, that you were piggybacking off of what Kat was saying, you know,
We're over here looking like a traveling camel right now.
Exactly. But definitely don't give up on your dreams. I think that's the main thing. Most people think that because things aren't going their way right now, that it will never come true. And that's not true. You know, most people say, oh, others are just lucky. And what I've learned over the years is luck really is just opportunity meets good timing and preparation. Because if you're prepared, you know, if you say, well, I'm never going to be a musician or a singer, but you practice every single day, and some random person comes up to you and says, hey, listen, I'm looking for a singer. Can you sing for me? And you say, oh, yes, I can. You could say, oh, this may be a lucky coincidence, but it's literally the right time meets the right opportunity. And you were prepared for it. And that goes for just about anybody out there. There's competition all around the world, but when you really try to put the work into it, you really try to put in the grind, and you practice, and you really put some hard work, some feeling into it, some passion, some love, you know, it's something that cannot be beat. Even if you don't get that big part, even if you don't become the world's greatest musician out there, knowing that you tried should be enough, and you are indeed enough. And that's the main thing that I think everyone should be taking away from this podcast, of course. Also, shout out to Cosmos Golden 7, because that's the one that did my art. You know, just a little plug in, you know, so, you know,
plug
check
in,
out her Twitch.
Definitely. But just a quick little disclaimer to let everybody know is that, you know, we're here to be able to give as much advice as we can. It's just, we're humble people here to be able to try to help everybody out as much as we can, because we love people. You know, we like trying to help out as many people as we can. Y'all don't have to take what we said, but we want y'all to know that we are here for you. If you have anything that you want to talk to us, we do have our social medias down on the bottom. We do have comments here that we check as much as we can. If you decide you like, hey, you want us to talk about a specific topic, or you want to talk about, you have something you wanted to say to us, or just be like, hey, thank you for everything. It's just like, we will gladly respond to as many people as we can. It's just like, we'll take y'all requests, we'll talk about it as much as we can, and of course, Aaron here, if y'all really like Aaron, we'll definitely try to get him back into again in the future. It's just like, he's always a person that's constantly busy as much as me and Kat is. We just, want to let y'all know that we're here for you. You don't have to take our advice, but we want you to know that as long as you listen and you hear our voice, just know that it helps as much as it can. But I think we're actually gonna probably wrap it up here. As our guest, Aaron, would you like to actually wrap it up for us today?
Sure thing. Again, I think the main thing to take away from everything is just definitely take things slow. Kat's perspective here. Definitely try to seek others who are like-minded like you, and definitely from what Cody has put out there, and also to definitely try to inspire others and always put your best foot forward. I think that's the main thing to take away from everything that we spoke about here. But I believe that would actually kind of wrap up time for everybody here. So again, I'm Aaron, of course, aka Shrimp Boat Man. If you do like everything that I put out there, I will put my social media, of course, inside the description down below. Hope again everybody has enjoyed their time here inside the Fox Den. So, of course, I'm signing out along with
Kat, the host, and
your co-host Cody.
And thank you for coming on our show for just a mini sprawling long time.
And expect more from us. So we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.